What you consume is not just food, it is your energy, your awareness, your direction. This is not a metaphor, it is a truth that echoes through all traditions of wisdom, both East and West. Every culture that has studied the body, the mind and the spirit in unison has known this one principle. The body is shaped not only by what it does, but by what it absorbs. And so when we speak of strength, when we speak of discipline, when we speak of walking a path with purpose, we must speak of what enters the mouth, what enters the bloodstream, what enters the cells. You cannot build a temple from crumbling stone. You cannot craft a sword from rotting metal. Likewise, you cannot cultivate lasting strength from corrupted fuel. Most people eat without awareness. They eat for comfort. They eat for habit. They eat for stimulation. Very few eat for function. Very few ask the question, what is this food doing to me? Not just now, but over time. Very few have the discipline to observe the long-term consequences of short-term pleasures. And this is where most paths toward mastery quietly derail. Not from the loud crash of failure, but from the soft erosion of small compromises. One fruit here, one sugary snack there. It's natural, they say, it's healthy. But the question is not whether something is natural. The question is whether it is aligned with your goal. A fruit may grow from the earth, but not all fruits serve the human temple equally. There are fruits, especially in modern times, that have been altered, hybridized and cultivated not for health but for sweetness. Sweetness sells, and so over time fruits that once carried balance have become distorted. Bananas, once small and rich in fiber, are now oversized and loaded with sugar. Grapes, once seedy and bitter, are now seedless and hypersweet. Watermelons, oranges, apples, all cultivated to be sweeter, juicier, more addictive. But in the pursuit of taste, we have lost the essence. We have sacrificed the balance of yin and yang. Sweetness is yin, strength is yang. When yin overflows without balance, it leads to lethargy, to weakness, to stagnation. The muscles lose their tone, the joints lose their fire, the legs, the foundation of physical strength, begin to weaken, not from lack of training, but from what was silently weakening them from within. When the monks of the Shaolin temple train, they do not only train their muscles, they train their choices. Every meal is a reflection of intention. Every bite is a practice of discipline, because the martial path is not a part-time commitment. It is not something you visit, it is something you embody. An embodiment requires harmony at all levels, mental, physical and nutritional. The food must support the body's function. It must enhance blood flow, preserve joint integrity and fuel endurance. It must not create spikes of energy followed by crashes. It must not feed internal inflammation. It must not confuse the nervous system with erratic signals. And yet, that is exactly what many common fruits now do. Consider how the body responds to fructose, the natural sugar found in fruit. In small amounts, balanced with fiber and antioxidants, it can be useful. But in excess, especially from concentrated, hybridized fruits, it becomes a silent toxin. Unlike glucose, which can be used directly by the muscles, fructose must be processed by the liver. In large quantities, it burdens the liver, raises triglycerides, and contributes to metabolic dysfunction. It does not refill the muscle's glycogen stores as efficiently. It does not energize the body in a stable way. Instead, it causes fluctuations, brief highs followed by deep fatigue. For someone training in martial arts, or any path requiring leg endurance, these fluctuations are not minor. They affect everything: your kicks, your stance, your ability to remain grounded. The legs carry the weight of your choices, and when your choices are made with ignorance, your legs carry that burden too. But let us go deeper. Why the legs? Why do we speak so much of them in the context of food? Because the legs are not just limbs, they are roots. They are the connection between heaven and earth. Every tradition that understands energy flow speaks of the legs as the foundational channels. In traditional Chinese medicine, the major meridians begin and end in the feet. The kidneys, which govern vitality and longevity, are located near the lower back, fed by the health of the legs. When the legs are strong, they pull energy from the earth, circulate it upward and feed the organs, the mind, the spirit. But when the legs are weak, blocked by poor nutrition or inflammation, the energy cannot rise. the mind becomes clouded, the spirit becomes restless, and the body begins to decay, starting from the ground up. Strength begins from the floor. The stability of a tree lies not in its branches but in its roots. The grace of a martial artist is not in his punches but in his stance. His ability to stay grounded while fluid, stable while moving. And that stability comes from a complex orchestra of muscles, tendons, fascia, blood flow, all influenced by what you eat. You may train for hours, you may practice horse stance until your thighs tremble, but if you feed your body the wrong fuel, you undo the work, you confuse the signals, you ask your body to hold you up, while quietly cutting its support from within. This is the hidden war. The war not on the battlefield but in the kitchen, in the market, in the unseen decisions that shape who we are becoming. Every warrior must fight this battle daily, to choose awareness over impulse, to choose fuel over flavor, to understand that strength is not built in moments of glory, but in the quiet, repetitive discipline of right choice. To say no, even when it is easy to say yes, to honor the temple of the body not with grand gestures, but with simple, consistent care. There is another layer to this, the energetic vibration of food. In the Shaolin tradition, it is not only the nutrients that matter, it is the qi, the life energy. Fresh, vibrant, naturally grown foods carry this qi, they uplift, they energize, not just the muscles, but the spirit. But heavily processed, chemically sprayed, and genetically modified fruits, even if they look beautiful, often carry dead energy. They may taste sweet, but they leave the body heavy, they dull the senses, they increase internal dampness, a concept in Chinese medicine that refers to sluggishness, bloating, and lack of vitality. Dampness in the legs leads to fatigue. Dampness in the body leads to loss of will. You do not see this in the label, you do not read it in the ingredients, but you feel it. You feel it in your training, you feel it in your walk. You feel it in your breath when you climb stairs and the legs say no, before the mind even has a chance. This is not about fear. This is not about avoiding fruit forever. It is about clarity, about knowing which fruits support you and which do not, about understanding your body's unique needs and training goals. A fruit that is ideal for someone running long distances may not be ideal for someone practicing explosive kicks or horse dances. A fruit that supports recovery may not support balance. And so the question is not, is this food good? The question is this food aligned with my purpose? The monk does not eat randomly, he eats according to function, he eats according to the season, according to the training load, according to the body's signals. This is why awareness is the true fuel. You must become aware of how food changes your state. Do you feel grounded after eating or jittery? Do you feel clear or foggy? Do your legs feel firm and stable or loose and tired? The body is constantly speaking, but most people are too noisy in their mind to hear. This is why stillness is necessary. To know how food affects you, you must first be able to feel. You must develop inner stillness so that subtle shifts become obvious. You must train the art of listening, not with your ears, but with your body. This is internal cultivation. This is real martial arts, not just fighting with fists, but mastering the self at every level, including the level of digestion. In the modern world, we are disconnected from food. We eat from packages. We eat with screens in front of us. We eat while distracted. And so we lose the ability to discern what is nourishing from what is damaging. We trust advertising instead of our own body's voice. We are told that fruit is good, and in some cases it is. But in excess, in the wrong context, in the wrong type, it can be a silent enemy. It does not kill the body in one day. It weakens the legs over months, over years. And when the legs weaken, the posture weakens. And when posture weakens, breath is compromised. And when breath is compromised, spirit is disturbed. You see, one poor choice compounds into many effects. This is the law of cause and effect. Karma is not mystical, karma is practical. Every cause produces an effect. Every meal is a cause. What you eat today determines your energy tomorrow, your ability to stand strong, your ability to walk far, your ability to remain calm under pressure. Do not underestimate the power of daily choices. Do not assume that because you trained hard you can eat carelessly. Training is only half the path. The other half is in how you restore. And food is the most consistent source of restoration. The master is not built by what he does in front of others. He is built by what he chooses when no one is watching. He is built by how he eats alone, by how he walks past temptation, by how he honors his body when it would be easier to feed the craving. This is true strength, not in lifting more, not in running faster, but in living aligned, in eating aligned, in building the temple brick by brick, choice by choice. So the next time you reach for that fruit, ask not just whether it is tasty, ask whether it is right. Right for your path, right for your training, right for your long-term strength. The path of mastery is narrow. It is not built on indulgence, it is built on awareness. It is built on energy, and energy begins with what you consume. Comfort is the first enemy of discipline. Sweetness is the mask of decay. These are not dramatic words. These are truths born of thousands of years of observation through the bodies and lives of those who walk the warrior's path. What is comfortable does not always serve you. What is sweet does not always nourish you. In fact, the very nature of sweetness is to lure you into complacency. It entices the tongue, blinds the judgment, and masks the slow weakening of the foundation. It is like water dripping on stone. One drop causes no damage, but 1,000 drops wear away the strength. And when the foundation is the legs, the very pillars of human movement and posture, then what you feed them becomes a direct expression of your wisdom or your ignorance. The modern world has glorified taste. Food is entertainment. Food is reward. Food is distraction. And in this chase for pleasure, the body is forgotten. You eat not because the body asks for energy, but because the mind seeks stimulation. This disconnect is not small. It is the root of many modern diseases, both physical and mental. You no longer ask, what does my body need to serve its purpose? Instead, you ask, what can I enjoy right now? And so discipline weakens, not because you lack willpower, but because you have trained yourself to follow craving instead of clarity. There are fruits today that have become symbols of health in common language. Bananas, grapes, mangoes, even dates. Yet these same fruits, especially when consumed in excess, do not serve those who are seeking strength, mobility, and endurance. Their sugar content, especially fructose, is high. Their glycemic load is disruptive. They create sudden bursts of energy followed by fatigue. They feed temporary satisfaction and long-term stagnation. When you feed the body in this way, you are not nourishing your legs. You are numbing them. You are making them comfortable, soft, and unstable. And with each sweet bite, your stance weakens, your speed dulls, your grounding becomes uncertain. True martial practice teaches us to cultivate energy, to build from the ground up. The legs must be strong, not only in the moment of movement, but in the silence of standing still. A stance held for minutes, minutes that feel like hours, teaches you more about yourself than 1,000 steps. The trembling thighs, the shaking knees, the rising breath, and the burning calves all reveal your character. Do you break under the burn? Do you collapse when the mind tells you it is too much? Or do you breathe through the fire, collect your awareness, and remain unmoved? These are not just exercises of the body, they are disciplines of the mind. But here is the truth. If your body has been dulled by indulgence, then the mind cannot win that battle. No amount of motivation can overcome a body that has been sedated by sugar, inflamed by poor food choices, or robbed of vitality by imbalance. Sweetness sedates. It makes you less responsive, less awake. It dulls the senses. Just as too much comfort in life makes you less adaptable to change, too much sweetness in food makes you less capable of enduring hardship. You are training yourself to expect ease, to expect reward without effort, and this expectation seeps into everything, into your workouts, into your breathing, into your very posture. When the legs feel heavy and soft, how can you spring into action? When the blood feels thick and slow, how can you move like water? The fruits that you consume daily, those moments of flavor you call harmless, they are not neutral. They are teachers. They are either sharpening you or softening you. They are either making you more alive or more tired. You must decide what kind of body you want. You must decide what kind of life you are cultivating. Do you want to move like a panther, silent, strong, precise, or like a puppet, controlled by impulses and held together by poor fuel? The difference is not in how hard you train once a day. The difference is in how you live all the other hours. The warrior is not built in the dojo. He is built in the kitchen. He is built in the supermarket. He is built in that moment when he looks at the fruit and says, "Not now, not this one. This sweetness does not serve my path." Discipline is a living force. It must be practiced constantly. It is not a prison, it is freedom. When you eat clean, when you avoid the foods that compromise your clarity, your body becomes light. Your breath becomes steady, your mind becomes alert. You begin to notice things you never noticed before. How you feel after certain meals, how your joints respond to different foods, how certain fruits bring heaviness while others bring lightness. This awareness is the doorway to mastery, because when you become aware, you can choose. And when you can choose, you become free. But most people live without choice. They are prisoners of habit. They eat because they always have, because their culture says it is good, because their emotions seek relief. And then they wonder why they feel slow, why their knees ache, why their energy crashes. They blame age, they blame genetics, they blame everything except the one thing they can control: what they put into their mouth. The fruit you eat is not just food, it is information. It tells your body what to become. If the information is poor, the body becomes poor. If the information is pure, the body becomes precise. To those who say, "But it's just fruit, how harmful can it be?" Understand this. Even poison in small amounts becomes deadly when taken daily. Sugar in fruit form is still sugar. Fructose, when isolated from fiber and consumed in large doses, is not harmless. It stresses the liver, it elevates uric acid, it contributes to insulin resistance. All of these conditions attack your strength from the inside out. They attack your endurance, your circulation, your recovery. You may not see the damage in one day, but you will feel it over time, in how your legs fatigue faster, in how your muscles feel inflamed, in how your joints grow stiff and sore. The path of a warrior requires vigilance, not paranoia, but presence. You must study your own body as if it were your student. Pay attention to how it reacts. You are not eating for pleasure. You are eating for performance, for presence, for power. You are not just a consumer, you are a cultivator. And cultivation means you must make hard decisions. It means you must say no to the thing that feels good now, so that you can grow into the strength you seek later. The beginner seeks flavor. The master seeks function. The beginner wants variety. The master wants alignment. When your body is truly aligned with your purpose, you will begin to crave only what supports that path. The fruit that made you feel good before will now feel like a burden. You will taste the artificiality. You will feel the spike in your nerves. You will sense the drop in energy, the stickiness in your breath. And from this awareness, discipline becomes effortless. You do not need to fight cravings, because you no longer see them as gifts, you see them as chains. This is the true transformation. When discipline becomes love, when restriction becomes protection, when every choice becomes a reflection of who you are becoming. This is not about never eating fruit. This is about knowing yourself so deeply that you can feel which fruits are aligned with your goal and which are distractions in disguise. It requires you to put down your assumptions, your habits, your inherited beliefs, and pick up the sword of attention. Attention is the first tool of the warrior. With attention, you observe your body, you listen to your breath, you monitor your digestion, you notice how your legs feel after every meal, you notice when the joints feel stiff, when the muscles feel bloated, when the energy crashes mid-training. You track patterns, you learn, and from learning, you refine. This is mastery. This is the internal art. Not just kicking higher, not just standing longer, but living in a way where every decision supports the practice. Food is not separate from training, it is part of it. In the same way you would not train barefoot on sharp stones, you should not train on poor fuel. In the same way you would not enter combat with a dull sword, you should not enter life with a dull body. Your legs are your mobility, your ability to respond, to pivot, to stand firm. If they are compromised, everything is compromised. If they are strong, everything becomes possible. So protect them, not just with exercise, but with nutrition, with awareness, with the discipline to say, this fruit is sweet, but it is not wise. This fruit gives me pleasure, but takes my power. Every warrior has a moment where he must choose between the easy path and the right path. In the world of food, this moment comes 3 times a day. Every meal is an opportunity. Every bite is a message. You can eat to entertain yourself, or you can eat to elevate yourself. The choice is yours. When the body becomes too clean on the outside but polluted on the inside, we lose our connection to what it means to truly live with clarity. This is the paradox of modern health. We wash our hands 10 times a day, sanitize every surface, filter our air, yet ignore the internal toxins we invite with each bite of food. The danger that we fear from the world outside is often less harmful than the danger we willingly swallow from the world within. The silent destroyers of strength do not always come in the form of pain or disease. Sometimes they come disguised as nourishment. Sometimes they come in the form of fruit. Not all fruit is equal. Not all natural things are good. This is a hard truth for many to accept because the mind has been trained to associate the word fruit with health. But the wise man does not live by words. He lives by experience. He listens to the body, not the marketing. He studies the energy after the meal, not the pleasure during it. This is the way of the practitioner, to remain alert, not just in meditation or in motion, but in consumption. What you take into the body must not only satisfy hunger, it must support the body's purpose. And the body's purpose is strength, stability, resilience. These qualities are non-negotiable. They are not decorations, they are foundations. And anything that pollutes these foundations, no matter how tasty, no matter how trendy, must be questioned. Fruits like overripe bananas, grapes, or certain tropical varieties, while appealing and rich in sugar, are not always friendly to the system. Their sweetness, their softness, their instant gratification, they all contribute to a kind of internal stickiness, an inflammation, a slowing down of what should be agile. If the legs are to carry the weight of the body through life, through training, hardship, growth, then the internal systems that support the legs must be clean. The liver, the kidneys, the blood, these are the true engines behind strength. And when these are polluted, no matter how strong your intention, the output becomes compromised. Training your legs is not just about how much you squat. It's not about how deep your horse stance goes or how long you can hold it. That is the external reflection. But the internal preparation, that is where the real strength begins. What kind of fuel runs through your veins when you train? Is it clean, steady, balanced, or is it spiked with sugar, inflamed with toxins, weighed down by the residue of what you consumed hours before? Most people train their muscles, but ignore their blood. They stretch their tendons, but tighten their digestion. And then they wonder why their energy drops, why their joints ache, why their legs swell or feel heavy. The answer is not in the stretch. It is not in the shoes, it is in the stomach. When you eat fruit that overwhelms the system with fructose, your body does not simply digest it and move on. It must process it. It must detoxify it. It must make decisions. Where to send this sugar, how to balance the spike, how to protect the organs. The effort it takes to manage excess sugar is invisible, but powerful. You do not see it, but you feel it. You feel it in the afternoon fatigue, in the unstable knees during your stance, in the restless sleep that follows a sugary evening snack. And eventually, you feel it in the weakening of your lower limbs, a subtle, creeping decline that tells you your temple is being compromised from within. This is not theory, this is reality for those who train their body with full awareness. For those who live in their body, who listen to its messages, who measure its strength not only in reps and routines but in breath, stillness and clarity. The food you eat becomes your breath, the breath becomes your movement, the movement becomes your life. And so the fruit you eat is never just fruit. It is your breath in disguise, your mobility in seed form. If it burdens the blood, it burdens everything. If it inflames the digestion, it inflames the joints. If it confuses the system, it confuses the step. So you must choose wisely. Just because something grows from the earth does not mean it serves the body. Poisonous mushrooms also grow from the earth. Toxic herbs bloom in wild beauty. Nature is powerful, but power without wisdom is dangerous. Your task is to develop the wisdom to know which fruits cleanse and which fruits cloud, which fruits align with your system and which ones agitate it. This cannot be learned from books. It must be learned from self-study, through fasting, through observation, through honest reflection. How do you feel when you train after eating certain fruits? How does your breath change? Your focus, your posture, these are the signs. The body always speaks, but you must become still enough to hear it. Many people chase detox in extreme ways. They fast without understanding, they drink strange juices, they buy expensive cleansers, but they continue to eat foods that pollute the bloodstream and burden the organs. This is not detox. This is contradiction. You cannot purify a system while continuously poisoning it. It is like washing your face while standing in smoke. Real purification starts with subtraction, with removing what does not belong. And many fruits, yes, even those labeled healthy, do not belong in a body that seeks strength, clarity, and stillness. You must remember, purification is not about becoming empty, it is about becoming pure. It is about restoring the body to its natural rhythm, its natural breath. And sometimes, the most powerful way to purify is not by adding more superfoods, but by taking away the hidden sources of imbalance, the fruits that spike your sugar, the ones that bloat your gut, the ones that confuse your cravings. Take them away and watch the body awaken. Watch the joints become fluid, the legs become stable, the breath become deep. There is an ancient principle in the internal arts: softness outside, strength inside. The body appears relaxed, but within it there is a fire, a clarity, a silent discipline. That fire cannot burn brightly if the body is filled with smoke. And much of the smoke today comes from the small indulgences that people do not even question. That daily fruit smoothie, that handful of grapes, that after-dinner mango, these are not sins, but they are signals. Signals that your choices may be guided more by habit than by purpose. That you are feeding not the body, but the craving. That you are seeking flavor, not function. To walk the warrior's path is to make every part of life a part of the training. To make your food a tool, your rest a strategy, your breath a weapon. You cannot afford to pollute this system, not if you want to endure, not if you want your legs to carry you through hardship, through years of training, through every terrain, physical and emotional. Polluted blood creates heavy legs create slow reactions create vulnerability. This is not about nutrition anymore. This is about survival. There is a clarity that comes from clean blood, a lightness, a precision. The way you move when your body is unburdened is different. The way you stand, the way you respond to resistance. There is no hesitation, no sluggishness. You become like water, adaptable, fast, powerful. And to reach this clarity, the internal purification must be constant. You cannot rely on occasional discipline. You must live it, every day, every choice. You do not eat because it is time. You eat because the body is ready. You do not choose a fruit because it is sweet. You choose it because it serves the breath. And yes, there are fruits that serve this purpose. Berries, low-sugar citrus, fruits rich in fiber and enzymes. These can support the system if consumed with mindfulness. But they must be tested. Each person is different. Each constitution is unique. What nourishes one may agitate another. The only way to know is to listen, to simplify, to observe, not with fear but with presence, not with obsession but with respect. You are the guardian of this temple. The choices you make are not trivial. They shape the very energy with which you meet the world. Your legs, the foundation of your posture and power, deserve the highest fuel. They deserve blood that flows clean, not blood thick with sugar. They deserve tissues that are fed by minerals, not inflamed by toxins. And so the path to purifying your legs begins not with exercise but with awareness. With the honesty to see what you are really feeding, with the courage to say no when your habit says yes, with the discipline to choose alignment over addiction. Every step you take is powered by the choices you make, in silence, in the kitchen, in the supermarket, in that moment of craving when no one is watching. These are the moments where true strength is built. These are the invisible victories that define the visible power of the practitioner. Because when your blood is clean, your breath is steady. When your breath is steady, your mind is calm. When your mind is calm, your step is sure. And when your step is sure, your life becomes unstoppable.